Good morning, everyone. I'm Marcy, and welcome to my crafty little studio. So today I'm going to start working on Dearjuliejulie September Stashbuster Junk Journal Challenge for 2021. And in this challenge, we're to make a journal that is at least 60 pages. We're to use 5 scrapbook papers at least 5 Dearjuliejulie digital images, which you can find in her Etsy store, and I will link below. We can use any and all tools and supplies, and we're going to be making 3 items from each of 11 categories. They all start spelling out Stashbuster. So for S, we'll be using scrapbook paper scraps. T, we'll be using torn book pages. A, any roll of paper. S, strips of paper. H, happy mail or mail, junk mail, etc. B, a box. U, unusual or ugly. S, stickers. T, tickets, large or small, guest checks, sales tickets, count as tickets. E, envelope, any, and R, round. So, and in my case, I will be jumping around from letter to letter. The other thing that will be a little different this month is I don't know that I will be fully embellishing the items I'm going to show you on camera. This is going to be a really busy month for me, and I just don't know that I will be able to take the time to do that. So today, I'm actually going to start with B, box. So, the first, and the reason I'm starting with that is because I need to figure out what my journal size is going to be. And I've got this box that I've already taken apart. It will give me a 2 3/8 inch spine right here, and I need to get it cut down. I know what the cut size should be, but it will assume that I'm able to get it cut correctly. So, first thing I'm going to do is just start cutting down my box. Let's see, let's go ahead and cut that off. Nope, that's not quite enough. That won't give me a straight edge. Let's try that again. There we go. I apologize for that being so loud. Okay, then I can come over here. All right, so, let's go ahead and cut this. Put it down a bit. Okay. Didn't do great there. All right. So, hopefully, I've got okay, that is right at 6.5. As is that. So I did okay on that. And if it's going to be 6.5, I think so this is going to be a small journal for me. So I think I will make it 6.5 by 6. that there. And that there. Okay, now I just want to double check. So 6.5. And 6 there. And 6 there. Okay. So that will be my cover. So I'm actually going to write that down so that when I make my book pages, so I'll probably make my pages 6.25 by 5.5. All right. So there's item 1. I will be decorating that later, but at least now I will know what my page sizes need to be. And like I said, that will leave me a 2 3/8 inch spine. So I can go with that. Okay, now I've got all these little pieces left that I'm going to hang on to because I can use those for, some of them at least, for tags, belly bands. Some of them aren't in great shape. Some of them, probably throw those away. But I'm going to hang on to those. Then the next thing I want to do, so that will be my first item. Whoops. Then the next thing I want to do is let me move this out of the way for a minute. I've got this corrugated cardboard just from a cardboard box. And I want to, normally one side will peel off pretty easily. So I just grab it by the corner and I'm going to start peeling this up. You know, it might actually be kind of cool to use. It's kind of thick, but that might actually make it's got that dry glue on the back of it. That might make kind of a neat journal page. It would be textural. I'm going to hang on to that, and we may do something with that. But what I want to do first is I want to cut this, and I will be going back and peeling off some of these little leftover pieces, but I can do that later. So, okay, my journal is, let's try to square this up a little bit. To start with, I'm going to cut it down to 4.5 by 6. Now, I really think that's going to be too big for what I want to do with it, but that will give me a starting point, and I may actually, I'm leaving some room because I may actually want to tear around it for the front of my journal. And like I said, these little pieces, I will be pulling those off later. But that will go after my journal, my cover is covered, then that will go on like so. And like I said, I'll be decorating it, so on and so forth. But that will be my item 2 for my box. And like I said, the I don't know if this would count as box, but I'm going to hang on to this paper because I think that might be a kind of a neat textural journal page to use. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to do is I want a piece that is, how big do I want it to be? I'm going to go 3 inches by, I think I'll go 6 inches. Or as close to 6 as I can get. All right. And another thing, when I was cutting some up earlier, I ended up with this little strip that was about, yeah, it's 1/2 inch wide. I thought that would make a great page edge. So I'm actually hanging on to it. It's out of corrugated box, but I thought decorate that up and it would make a great page edge. Okay, here's the one I'm going to use right now though. And again, these I will hang on to for later use. But what I want to do right now is I'm going to make a hidden paper clip. So what I've got here is, forget what size I cut it, 2 inches wide by 5 inches long, just a piece of scrapbook paper, folded in half, and I'm going to put my paper clip right over that. Then I'm going to take this piece that I just cut to 3 by 3 and fold it in half. And you may have some difficulty getting exactly half with this corrugated cardboard, and that's fine. There's really, one side of it will be over part of the page and the other side will be on the other side of the page, so the fact that they may not match completely won't really matter. Now I want to try, I haven't tried this yet, use my corner chomper. That does work. And round the edges a bit. Okay, and before I go any further with this one I'm actually going to try to finish up, or almost finish up for you guys. I'm going to ink around all my edges. Okay, so I've inked around my edges, and I went ahead and inked around the inside edges as well, just in case anything shows. And I'm using my walnut stained distress ink, because this is so dark. Okay, so now I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac, and I want to get around my paper clip really well. And you could use hot glue, you could use any kind of glue you want. I'm just using Fabri-Tac because it will dry quicker. Okay. So I'm going to put that on the inside, as close to the top and as close to the center as I can get. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I like to say in journal making, there really is no such thing as perfect. Okay. I want to be sure. I'm going to give that a second because I want to be sure that it's attached before I glue the other. Well, actually, there's no reason to wait. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Fold it over. And with this, because we have the corrugation, I am holding it down because it's hard, you know, it's hard to actually burnish without collapsing the corrugated part. So, and I just want to be sure that everything is sticking well. And it appears to be. You'll want to check before it gets completely sealed to be sure you don't have any glue seepage. Oops, that side isn't sticking. Need to give it another minute. Okay, and while I'm holding that, I'm going to pull out a little bit of paint. And this is just Deco Art Americana Spiced Pumpkin. Oh, and my journal will be a fall journal. I guess I haven't said that. Shake this up. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit out on my paper plate. Okay, now it seems to be sticking. And I'm going to take a paintbrush, mostly dry, and I am just going to dab my paintbrush in here. And I'm just very lightly running it over those corrugations to add some color to it. Now remember, we can use anything in our stash. So that's why I'm able to use some paint. Okay, and I'll just hold that since it's not dry yet. I'm going to do that on both sides. And you can cover it as much or as little as you want. All right. Let me put my paintbrush in the water. And where did my... Somewhere I had... Huh. Looking for my wax paper. Oh. Well, it's not wax paper, but it's parchment paper. That'll work. Just want to give that a second to dry. Yeah, and it's already just about dry. Okay, so now I've got this Lindy's Moonshadow Mist. What color is this? Gossamer Gold. spray. Whoops. Giving it a little shake. Should have done that beforehand. I have not used this spray mist much, so I'm still learning how to use it. And I don't have a spray box right here, so I'm going to be very careful. And so I'm just going to spray some on. And then what I'm going to do, because like I said, I don't have my spray box here and I'm already making a mess, is I'm just going to use this foam brush and brush it down a bit. And when it dries, I'll just have gold in some spots. So just a little added, it'll just give me kind of a gold shimmer. This one needs a little more. I got my Lindy's spray from Maddie at Spectrum Art Creations. And if you've not been to her channel and her sales, you really ought to check them out. I think I need a little more on this side as well. And I'm not using this right now to its full potential. I haven't, I just got it not too long ago, and I haven't taken the time yet to actually play with it. But hopefully you can see that in the camera. I can see it here, but it just gives me the slightest, on this paper, just the slightest shimmer of gold in those crevices and stuff. So, all right. Now, let me grab something wet to wipe up my overspray. And of course, if I had a spray box in front of me, I could spray it much better. But I think that'll work, though. Okay. I'm going to keep this on the parchment for a minute. Okay. Then, the only other thing that I will need to do to this, I mean, each item has to have 3 things done to it. So I've added paint, I've added some spray, so that would be 2. And then the only other thing, and I'm not going to do it now because I want it to dry, is, you know, I might add a flower or a leaves and a label that needs to be cut and inked, but something like that to each side, or, you know, a mushroom and a label, or you could add lace. You could add whatever you wanted to that. I wonder, do I have a bigger, I'd rather... You know, I could do something like that, or, you know, whatever you want to do. But I like that with the paint and the little bits of gold in it. And then, like I said, further embellish it however you want, and you've got a great paper clip. I'm going to leave that there. I want to be sure that's completely dry before I move on. So, with box, we've got the cover for our journal. We've got the front panel that will go on the cover of the journal. And like I said, this will be decorated. I'll be cutting it down. It may be painted and have some gold added. But that is what I want to do with that. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to do something with the page edge, just because I think that would be neat. And then, like I said, I think I'm going to, oh, it just occurred to me, that would make a great belly band. And then, like I said, I think I'm going to hang on to this. I'm going to try to flatten it out, of course, cut it down, and I think that would make a neat textured inside page. So, those are my ideas for box. Here we've got the starting of decorating. But you can see why I don't want to do all this on camera, because like the painting and the spraying and all of that is going to take some time. So, until next time, I wish you all a wonderfully happy, crafty day, and I will see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.